Doesn't look like Vettel's had the best of stops though. It's actually going to come out behind Raikkonen. I don't know what's happened to Vettel there. To come out behind Raikkonen. Must have got held. Alonso there, coming up behind the very see-through car of Daniel Ricciardo. That's actually no car at all, it's a Toro Rosso, I think. Or is it a Red Bull? I can't tell, it's see-through. Yep, it's definitely the Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo, and it's also very see-through. Anyway, then we have Button, and then we have Rosberg coming up behind a very see-through car of Kevin Magnussen. Left to go around the outside. No, Magnussen lets him dive one back down the inside, and it actually gets tagged and spins. And that gives Perez now 10th place, so Perez back into the points. Vern's definitely not having a good race down there. Chilton, after holding up Rosberg for a lap, is now way behind at the back. And Hamilton is way ahead at the front. Bottas in second. Massa third, actually. They're looking good for Williams. With a 2-3 podium, they're getting some good points. Might actually put them ahead of... Actually, that would put them ahead of Red Bull in the Constructors, as they're only 1 point behind. Red Bull on 88 points, Williams are on 77. If Massa actually had a good start to the season, then Williams would be way ahead of Red Bull at this stage, but it is what it is, and they're 1 point behind going into this race. Now Alonso's still behind Ricciardo. Green flags, there looks to have been an incident up ahead maybe. Green flags waving. So it all looks to have been cleared. Now Rosberg got quite a gap to the McLaren of Button ahead of him. If he wants to take 8th place, I believe this will be, if you can get past Button. If you can catch Button to begin with, which is what he's got to do first. Now, can Ricciardo, with his new lightweight Red Bull, get past his teammate or the Ferrari of Kimi Räikkönen? Not really much in the way of overtaking between these two with the engine power. Seem pretty evenly matched. Just Red Bull have the better chassis, and Ferrari, I'd say, have the slight better power unit than the Renault. But it's pretty even between these four. So you can see Raikkonen causing yet another train until the end of the race. Rosberg now about 5 seconds behind the McLaren of Button. Just over half race distance. Now Perez looks to be pulling away from the Toro Rosso with Kvyat, who's still ahead of Hülkenberg. With Magnussen now demoted all the way down to 13th, and no way he's getting back into the points this race. You can see there just how much Rosberg's starting to fight this Mercedes. Definitely not happy with the setup, or definitely not got the right setup on that Mercedes for this race. Perez just looks to be consolidating his 10th place. Button, with that Mercedes power unit as well. But the Works team would definitely have some inside knowledge over the McLarens about that power unit. And Rosberg doing everything he can to catch up to that McLaren and take Button's 8th place, with about 4 or 5 laps remaining of this race. Alonso actually looks to be losing touch slightly with the 3 ahead of him. Massa just looks to be content with his 3rd place. Should be a great result for him given his dismal start to the season. And same for Bottas, just taking it around in 2nd place, getting some great points there for Williams. I think stay there. And Hamilton just streaking away into the distance. With this pace, it's a wonder how Vettel got pole position in qualifying. But with these streets, with how tight Monaco is, you never know, Hamilton may have got blocked on his lap. Slightly. I mean, it's just pure luck really, about you get your timing right and everything around Monaco. Raikkonen still ahead of Vettel and Ricciardo. You're definitely pulling away from Alonso now. Now Rosberg can see Button ahead of him with only 2 or 3 laps remaining. He definitely wanted to get past that McLaren, maybe even challenge the 4 ahead of him and get onto the end of that Raikkonen train. Hamilton's not actually that far away from lapping Chilton, and with 2 or 3 laps remaining, Chilton might actually get lapped in this race. Okay, back to Rosberg. He looks to be continuing his charge up to the back of that McLaren. Now, can he get anywhere close in these final few laps of the race? Bit of a lock up there. And he looks to be about 2 seconds now behind the McLaren. Button's going to be doing all he can, using all of his knowledge, all of his experience to keep the Works Mercedes behind and score some crucial points for the constructors, definitely for the drivers. Button's going to need as many points as he can get here, because despite the constructors' lead that McLaren have over Force India, Button's coming into this race. Button is only 1 point ahead of Hulkenberg and 3 ahead of Raikkonen, which won't stand as it is. Raikkonen will definitely get past both of them at this rate if it stays as it is. Even more so if Rosberg can get past. Sounds like something is dragging on the Mercedes there. As long as it can keep going for the next lap and a half, then Hamilton should have this win sealed. Button still ahead of Rosberg for the time being. You just see through there how much Rosberg closes on the McLaren, and throughout the whole of this sector really. Now Button with a bit of a lock-up, feeling the pressure. Rosberg now right behind, and definitely looking to make a move. Now once again, Rosberg is poor around this sector, around this final corner especially. And you can see there, Button just pulls away. And you think you should stay ahead for the whole of this sector. Now Lewis is now coming up to lap the Marussia of Max Chilton. Now can this be a clean overtake? Now where's Hamilton? Goes to the inside, and Hamilton actually forces Max Chilton into the barrier. Hamilton though has no damage, but Max Chilton has no front wing. Not the cleanest of lapping overtakes from Lewis Hamilton. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets any kind of penalty for that. Still, Hamilton goes on to start the final lap of this race, I believe. Now Rosberg looking to make a move around the outside of Button. Now go around the final corner, can he hold it? Yes he can. And you have to think that Rosberg isn't going to get any higher in this race, and in fact there's the Marussia of Max Chilton coming out of the pits with a new front wing, and he's definitely last in this race. I think Rosberg is not going to get any higher because the gap to Alonso, even for a Mercedes, is too much to catch in one lap. Yeah, you see the catering the distance of Marcus Ericsson, definitely too far ahead and won't get lapped in this race. But Hamilton, a bit of damage actually hits the wall. Luckily, still got all four wheels on his car and all four tyres inflated on his car. So now Hamilton rounds the final corner onto the start-finish straight for the final time. And Lewis Hamilton is going to cross the line to win the 2014 Monaco Grand Prix. With Bottas second. Massa's going to cross the line to finish third. Yep. With Raikkonen fourth. Vettel holding on to fifth. Ricciardo sixth. Alonso seventh. And Rosberg in eighth. So you see that? Final results, Hamilton did win the race and Rosberg couldn't really get any higher than 8th in that race. Button 9th. Perez holding on for the final points position in 10th, ahead of Hulkenberg who got past Kvyat. Magnussen, after that contact with Rosberg, down in 13th, Gutierrez 14th, then Grosjean, then Sutil, Bianchi, Kobayashi, Maldonado. He actually didn't crash, which is an achievement. Ericsson and then Max Chilton a lap down after his contact with Lewis Hamilton. So that's been the Monaco Grand Prix. Not the most action-packed of races, but then again, Monaco never is. So I hope you enjoyed that race, and I'll see you next week for the Canadian Grand Prix, which should definitely have a lot more overtakes, a lot more action, and a lot more use of DRS, and maybe a question to the World Champions while they're at it. So see you next week, yeah, for that.